A to the K.
To the K.
To the K.
Is Shane McMahon all elite?
Probably. Kayla leaves WWE.
WWE file some interesting trademarks.
Ooh. MVP has gone on a bit of a Twitter rant.
Indianapolis set to host 3 of the big 4 WWE premium live events.
Goldberg is interested in another match.
Yay. Ludwig Kaiser suffers an injury on Raw.
WWE products set to be more mature when they move to Netflix.
Ooh, Anthony, when's all this coming up?
Right fucking now.
Yes, it is. Oh, that's it. It's
A bit
mature.
sassy there,
It
sorry.
is mature.
Yeah.
We're in the Netflix era
Nice,
already.
yeah.
I like it. So this is an interesting one to kick off with. There were several rumours and reports doing the rounds earlier in the week that Shane McMahon is interested in joining AEW.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Since all this has gone around, Tony Khan has apparently said he's never even met or had a conversation with Shane McMahon. So that sort of poo-poos it a little bit. But Fightful, good old Fightful, they apparently reached out to members in the AEW locker room, to which they had said nothing has been discussed that they're aware of as of right now. But that doesn't necessarily mean...
Where's the rumour come from then?
Well, exactly. It doesn't necessarily mean, though, that Shane... Because I think initially it was Shane's put the feelers out to talent in AEW to be like, what do you think about me coming working over there?
Taken after his dad.
Yeah.
And the feelers out.
Basically. Allegedly. Boy, we're back. We missed 2 weeks. We don't miss a beat, do we? But yeah, I don't... Could you ever see this Shane McMahon in AEW?
I actually could, and I think it could be a good thing for AEW, because then it'd be this polarizing thing of like WWE suddenly has no McMahons.
Yeah.
And all right, it's not the McMahon. You can't really have the McMahon anymore. But having Shane or Mac could be a little bit of a shot in the arm for AEW. I mean, I don't know what capacity you'd have him, because
Hopefully not a wrestler.
let's be honest,
Jesus.
he's not exactly been one of the creative minds behind WWE over the years. He's been involved. And I'm not discrediting the way he's been involved, but it's not like his name goes down as one of the best.
Well, going into business for himself with the Rumble and trying to make himself be one of the final entrants and stuff like that.
So, not exactly the best booking.
Yeah.
But he's from a much bigger product, a much more well-polished product. So could he have something to offer? Probably, yeah.
The weird thing is with it though, is after the whole Royal Rumble debacle, right? Vince was like, "Oh no, he's done. He's not coming back ever again." And then when Vince was gone, Triple H brought him in for WrestleMania 39, and obviously tore both his quads. It was the worst segment ever. So it's kind of like...
Maybe that's why he brought him back. He's like, "You're going to have to take your quads, Shane." I don't want to.
Yeah. It was like... It's even more baffling, because you kind of think, well, if Vince was still in charge, there's a better chance, but...
If Vince was still in charge, he'd have still had his quads.
True. Very true.
But yeah, strange, really. Strange.
Yeah. I do think it would definitely get some eyeballs on the product, which
Do you think...
something it clearly needs right now after drawing the lowest number ever.
I know. Do you think, because there's always been these rumours as well about like working with WWE, and that's not necessarily, that ship hasn't necessarily sailed, and so on. Do you think that could be something that fosters a bridge between the two? Like, as stale as AEW is getting at the minute, I would still love a Survivor Series that's like...
Oh, God, yeah.
Like WWE versus AEW.
Yeah,
cool.
That would be amazing. You can never say never, can you? But if you believe what is out there, that it's WWE that are leaking things like the Fast Nationals and stuff to basically shit on AEW and their ratings and things, then it doesn't sound like they're being that friendly. Like, I know that they've got this facade at the minute of like, we're working with TNA and we're working with...
How much of it's like... I mean, TNA are part of the same company now. So, of course they are.
Yeah. Like, well, they've done this deal with is it Pro Wrestling Noah, where AJ Styles is going over there for a bit. And obviously they've got... is it Io? Is she working in Marigold? Is she having a match in Marigold?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
So, to a degree, they are a very different company than they once were.
I'd be, at this point, you're like, wait till you're not threatened by us. If you're letting the wrestlers go, they'd be like, wait till you're not threatened by us.
Yeah.
Threatened by AEW.
Well,
harsh.
exactly, yeah.
Like, I don't know. It depends whether you believe the whole corporate espionage thing, doesn't it? Like, it is all rumour mill. Are they actively, like, leaking stuff and discrediting them? Like, there's suggestions and all sorts. Like, there's, like, bots on the internet, like, designed just to go for AEW and talk about how shit they are and stuff. And it's like, are they doing that? Or is it rumours? The funny thing is, like, people are like, they wouldn't do that. They don't even care about AEW. It's like, you don't have to care about them. It costs probably, like, buttons to get bots doing things, isn't it? Really? Robots are cheap as fuck.
Buttons for bots.com.
Buttons for bots, mate. Robots are cheap as fuck these days, right? So, like, I can't see them being above it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I honestly can't see it. But if it happened, I do think it would generate a lot of interest, at least.
Random episode of Collision, because why the fuck Collision. Not? And it'll be, here comes the money.
It couldn't even be that, though. That's what's annoying.
Why not?
Because it's WWE theme, innit?
Probably got the right to do it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Was it made by Def Rebel? No, fucking wasn't.
No, because it's half decent. Clearly not made by Def Rebel.
Yeah, there isn't a. I almost couldn't do that. Damn.
Manly. Can't reach them notes. But yeah, I can't see it happening anytime soon. But if it does, then yeah, there will definitely be some eyeballs, I think, directed AEW's way. So for that reason alone, do they give it a go?
But is it BS? Yes.
Okay.
Hey, maybe we should do that on the back of every news.
Okay. I like that.
So, Carl, Kayla Braxton, or whatever her real name is now, she's announced on Twitter or X or whatever the fuck Elon's calling it this week, that she's finished with WWE and she's moving on to other endeavors. Now, the rumor mill hit pretty heavy on this. The source I read was Cultaholic, and I am going to paraphrase because, I didn't read it properly. But the suggestion is, she was sort of almost the third wheel in a lot of talented women backstage, and was like, maybe it's my time to shine elsewhere. And there was rumors that she may be going to other wrestling promotions, not WWE, the other one, AEW, or whichever. But she's quickly squashed that as well and said, essentially, that if she wanted to continue doing wrestling, then she'd stay in WWE, the biggest promotion in the world, probably
in the country world.
So it seems that whatever she's doing is not going to be wrestling related. It's going to be sports related. Who knows? Who knows?
Well, I believe she relocated to LA, didn't she? So I could definitely see her being involved in something more Hollywoody.
Hollywoody.
I
think I know that company.
I've got a Hollywoody. Do you? Yeah, I could definitely see her being involved more in the entertainment space, perhaps. But she could also move into sports, definitely. But I just think with her being in LA, maybe we'll see her rock up on something.
Acting or whatever,
yeah. Or still hosting, but like a different... Because she did
I
like...
assumed acting because you said Hollywood. That's how basic I am.
Yeah. No, I was thinking like more of a host capacity because she did like the bump and stuff, didn't she? So...
She did. So like presenting something in some way.
I can see that.
Cool.
But
that'd be pretty cool.
She'll be missed. We love a bit of Kayla on the show.
Indeed.
So
So it's a real shame, but you know what? Fair play to her. Got to bet on yourself sometimes.
Indeed. Yes, you do. Speaking of betting on yourself, WWE have filed some very interesting trademarks.
Like Taller Tonga.
I love that one, to be fair.
Yeah, it's a good meme.
But no, they have filed the trademark for WWE ID and WWE... What does it say? Independent Development.
Is that what ID stands for?
Apparently, yeah.
So they trademark both?
Yeah, trademark both. So WID, which also means WWE Independent Development. Now, a lot of people are thinking this is some sort of rebrand for like their Next in Line program, where they obviously recruit athletes. And,
is that thing where they recruit athletes and then you don't hear anything about them for a year and then they just announce them as releases? Yeah, it's a good scheme. It's a good scheme.
So people think they might want to be rebranding that because that's got a little bit of a bad rap at the minute. I've got another idea. I wonder if WWE are heading down the kind of agent like PRE type route, where they're potentially launching a division of the company where they can represent talent for other endeavors.
Oh, right, okay. Instead of restricting them.
Yeah.
It's restricting them, but in a different way.
Yeah. So still owning them.
Yeah.
But like they can do stuff that they let them do.
Yeah.
Almost. Like,
it's like an evolution of what they were doing with Twitch, isn't it? You can Twitch, but only on our terms.
But obviously our good friend Meech, talent manager of the likes of Saraya, Brian Danielson and Renee Paquette. So maybe they're doing some like an arm of that potentially, where because I think in the instead of trying to just paraphrase it, I'll read the article. If you look at what the trademarks filed against, it says program to enhance, educate, and develop athletes, educational services, namely organising and conducting training in the field of collaborative partnerships with athletes for brand building, training, development, education, communications, promotion, and community relations services.
Do you know what I think it is?
What?
I think what the Performance Center has to offer, they're offering out as a product to the likes of TNA.
Oh, interesting.
So they're saying your talent can come and learn the way that our talent learn for a fee.
Independent developments. So people on the indies can come and learn the WWE style.
Not necessarily going to get a WWE contract, but you can use the Performance Center and the scheme that's set up that works.
I like it.
Yeah.
It could have legs, that, to be fair.
It could have legs.
Could have legs. Well, yeah, they definitely do something interesting in that space. It could just be something as shit as rebranding Next in Line. Because, I mean, it doesn't sound
great. Coming up next on Independent Developments.
Like, WWE nil. Like, who's won?
It's a WWE version of Arrested Development that they're going to put on Netflix.
Maybe. I mean, it is like a multi-show deal, isn't it? Quite possible. But I'm interested to see what exactly it is.
What is it?
Hopefully it's a good thing for the wrestling business and it's not just another monopoly kind of deal.
I do like Monopoly.
I do like Monopoly. Yeah, that was that one.
So, Carl, MVP's gone on a bit of a rant on Twitter. Now, I'm going to paraphrase some of it, but essentially there was a bit of a talk about the hair business and the failure of the hair business and how it never got brought back, and how I think somebody likened it to like this was the bloodline before the bloodline was the bloodline kind of thing. And they, in the comments, were blaming Vince McMahon for the failure of hair business. And MVP wanted to clarify that, Triple H could have brought this back.
Golden Boy Triple H.
And he chose not to. And then, it just kind of devolved from there. That's I'm going to try and find the exact quote so I'm not misquoted on it, but there was a suggestion as well of like, I think he said that he was emasculating black people, and he was like, you got it, or something along that line. I don't want to misquote him, bear with me.
Yeah.
No, you get it. That's exactly what he said. Okay. So he's put, Triple H era is emasculating black men, and MVP's response was, you get it. So it seems that MVP is not particularly happy with the booking that hair business had, the lack of a return for the hair business. And whilst it's not in the comments, obviously his current sort of feature with the Bride is not exactly getting enough TV time. So it seems he might be a little dissatisfied with the situation.
Yeah, hair business is awesome. We love the hair business, don't we?
Yeah. Then it's funny because people are getting so defensive because he's come at Triple H as well, getting so defensive. Like anyone was bothered about Cedric Alexander, and like WWE even wants Shelton back. And it's like, well, let's be real. Shelton was a ledge. Like, I was quite surprised they released him. Let's not act like he wasn't a great wrestler.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like they could have brought Omos in and stuff as well, add him as the muscle and things.
Maybe could have.
Maybe not.
He could have ruined it a lot sooner, right? Yeah.
Do you know what though? It's interesting because, and I don't know whether I should say this or whatever, but we've often joked kind of around like the storylines in WWE are very much like they group people together, don't they, in different ways? Like
no, 100%.
Like the LWO versus the other. Exactly. It's like
they literally do that all the time.
Yeah.
Like this, the whole bloodline thing. It's just like, let's group them all together.
And take, over there.
Yeah, so that's literally what happens.
Like, you know what I mean? You'd kind of think it would play into the thinking to keep the hair business as like a faction, but evidently not. But I don't think the pride's working. The hair business was awesome. It felt different. MVP being at the center of it was a big part of that as well. But
yeah, even if you had the Street Profits involved, would have been the street business.
Could have been the business on the streets. But yeah, I think the problem is with Bobby, and I'll get some flack for this, is he's just a charisma vacuum, and
he lacks it massively.
Yeah,
he was. I don't know. This sounds horrible. I didn't really watch him in the TNA run. I don't know what got him super over in TNA, but I imagine it went his mic skills.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Obviously, he's fantastic talent, but he's
a hell of an athlete.
But that's why him and MVP work so well, and then having the likes of Shelton and Cedric just kind of rounded it out, didn't it? But it's a shame. But yeah, Triple H, the Golden Boy, so he is to blame for some things, isn't he? It's not all Vince.
But it's the funny thing though, because it gets really polarizing. People are like defensive, but it's like he can make mistakes too. That doesn't mean people are saying he's awful.
That's what's so funny. Like I feel like I come across as though I'm anti Triple H. I'm really not. It's just the fact that everyone thinks he's untouchable, and it's like he's made loads of mistakes. He brought back fucking top dollar. You know what I mean? Like, well, come on,
what's the point in that?
What are you doing? So yeah, for all the amazing stuff that is going on, like he is human, and he will do.
And let's be honest, the bloodline was sheer luck. That was never booked. That just kind of happened.
Yeah,
he rolled with it and he evolved it, but that just kind of happened.
Yeah, Sammy was brilliant.
There's no way they planned on Sammy being part of it and being as fucking brilliant as he was.
No
way.
I miss Sammy.
Yeah,
He's just...
It's not feeling Usi.
No.
You
just how'd you go from like fucking conspiracy theory guy and like to Usi to just
this
Intercontinental champion? Like, come on, let him
have a ponytail thing going on now.
Yeah. Anyway, so something we're seeing more and more of, Anthony. WWE are partnering with different cities and states across the globe, and kind of agreeing deals where they can bring big shows to those cities.
Big shows in AEW,
but this one's quite interesting. So WWE and Indiana have announced quite a drastic deal, really, where they are committed to bringing 3 of the big 4 premium live events to the state of Indiana. Interesting. What is the 4th? Maybe this is them finally agreeing.
Maybe I'm beginning to like Indianapolis though, because they're basically going, yeah, we don't want Survivor Series.
Yeah, Survivor Series is
that shit.
Yeah.
Big 4, fuck off.
Exactly. But so the first one that's announced, Royal Rumble 2025, February 1st. The first time the Royal Rumble will not take place in January.
Interesting.
But what they've also announced is it'll be a 2-night SummerSlam and a 2-night WrestleMania. Makes you wonder, are we getting 2-night Rumbles?
Look, here's the thing. 2-night Mania works. Biggest pay-per-view of the year. 2-night SummerSlam. That's going to be a fucking sleeper, that one. That's going to be a fucking sleeper. Don't do it.
Yeah. The Rumble,
I'll have a 2-night Rumble.
The Rumble could make sense because you are kind of like, let's kick off with one Rumble, let's end with another. Yeah. It's like, you could have the Rumble main event both nights.
I mean, I don't know if you can do it without it sounding sexist, but you could have ladies' night. End with the ladies' Rumble.
Maybe.
Just like you do at the races.
Yeah, just like that.
Of what?
Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, so Royal Rumble in 2025 is going to be February 1st, but then you've not announced the dates for SummerSlam and WrestleMania, so we know SummerSlam this year takes place in Cleveland, and the SummerSlam for the year after has already been announced, and it ain't Indianapolis.
You've announced too many, I'm lost.
Yeah, so it's going to be at least another 2 years or so until we get SummerSlam in Indianapolis, so not really sure how it all works, but if you live in Indy, you'll be made up.
How long, not to be Mr. Negative here, but how long before WWE gets a better offer that they can't turn down and they end up upsetting an entire city town?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because they've signed an agreement with them. They'll be shooting themselves in the foot.
I know, we're committing that far ahead, and sometimes they might just be like, we'll pay the costs.
Yeah.
The bigger the Saudi have offered us billions, I don't give a fuck.
Well, I mean, that's another one that's come up, in it. Saudi won at WrestleMania. So it's like if they've committed to host, I don't know, WrestleMania 45.
John Cena, you promised us one.
Yeah, Cena.
Fuckface. Can't fucking see you, can we?
Yeah. So, well, that's the point. We won't see him.
No?
Because they're not coming over here for WrestleMania. Yeah, so 3 big shows coming to the Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. And yeah, we don't know when the other 2 are going to be, but Royal Rumble, 1st of February.
Yeah. There you go.
Madness.
What a time to be in Indianapolis. Wow, I said that wrong.
What a time.
I'm just going to quit here.
Speaking of people who should quit.
Oh, that was a nice segue. I like it. So, Bill Goldberg.
I'd hear it with Bret Hart's voice every time someone says Bill Goldberg.
Bill Goldberg has been on Busted Open Radio quite recently speaking to Bully Ray.
Was it just normal radio, but he headbutted the door before he went on?
Maybe, actually. Yeah, I never thought to look into that, but that would certainly fit his MO. Yeah. But yeah, he was on there and he was talking about, honestly, it was kind of a weird conversation. Like I mentioned to you before, he was talking about, like, people asked him why he was losing so much weight, and he's talking about, like, oh, I put my life on hold for my son. I was like, what a time to be his son, just hearing his dad on the radio going, I ruined myself for my son. It's like, Jesus, I understand prioritising your kids and all that, but don't make it sound like you fucking put your life on hold. That's so grim. Your life, I don't know. Like, I would look at it as like, that was my life with my kids, not, but I put everything to one side for you, you ungrateful shit. Not that he said it like that.
Yeah.
Not that he said it like that. But he was basically like, I assume this was like an analogy rather than a literal thing, but he was like, you know, people wonder why I'm losing weight, but I like, you know, if there was 3 steaks, I'd have 1 and I'd give him 2. And you're like, oh, okay. Like, I'm not quite sure. Did he ask for 2 steaks? Like, you didn't even clarify that. I just feel like you're overfeeding the kid at this point. I was really confused by his whole point, but basically he's saying that he feels like he's got his life back now. His son's, you know, going to college or whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
And that there were talks with Vince McMahon.
It sounds like some kind of new little comedy, doesn't it? Like, Bill Goldberg gets his life back.
Yeah. He has to find himself.
Yeah.
Just him wearing a fucking shit hat, just shopping in New York. Yeah, so apparently when he was in his last run with the Dub, he had talks with Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon assured him, there'd be some sort of return going on. Apparently not a lot of people knew this, but he tore his rotator cuff or whatever when he was in WWE last, and he just powered on through because he's Bill fucking Goldberg.
He's Bill Goldberg.
Yeah. He fucking tore the other one as well, just for symmetry. Don't give a fuck, right? So, I don't know why I did that. So he basically said, that's obviously kind of gone by the by with all the changes and, the changes that have happened in WWE, the sudden changes that were definitely not motivated by any outside factor.
No.
So it's not necessarily a done thing that it would be WWE, but he definitely would like. I think he said it would be neat to have one more match, and it certainly would be neat.
Well, Jenkies.
And, Bret Hart was quoted as saying, Bill can go fuck himself. Obviously, he hadn't listened to the podcast. He just puts that up every once in a while.
Yeah.
So that's fair. And that's all she wrote, Carl. Maybe he won't have another match. Who knows?
Let's hope that is all she wrote, because we don't want to see that.
I mean, at this point.
Yeah, and to quote Bret Hart, fuck Bill Goldberg. Here he is, little Bret. Got your back, Bret. Got your back. So this next one, there's not a whole lot of news on this at the moment, but Ludwig Kaiser had a match with Bron Breakker on Raw, and the little sprinty bastard that he is has injured Kaiser.
Did Bron break him?
Bron broke him, yeah. So I think it was WrestleVote was the first one to break the story.
Look, right, what's the deal with Bron Breakker? I feel like you always come at me like I just irrationally don't like the guy. But why are people so fascinated with the fact that he runs before he does stuff?
Yeah.
Look how fast he is. Yeah, I'm sure most wrestlers could run before they do something.
Yeah, I think the thing is what people seem to see in him. I don't agree with the Brock Lesnar comparisons, but he's an athlete, isn't he? He's a former football player. He's fast. He can jump high. People are like, he's going to be like Brock. He's not. But that's why people are behind him.
Just described a greyhound. I'm not impressed. I don't get it. I suppose I put more stock in charisma, which I don't think he has any. Just because he does something fast and then goes, ah!
He screams.
But screaming isn't I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I'm just getting too old for this stuff. I'm I imagine him coming to your barbecue and you'd be like, why has he knocked over the barbecue and started screaming?
And everyone else is just cheering.
Fuck's sake,
Bro. Just what's my barbecue?
Exactly. But yeah, I imagine he's not like that all the time. But I don't know. I just can't get it. I don't understand it. Yeah. I think he's been brought up to the main roster too soon. I think they're way too over on him, and I think they're probably at the risk of almost over pushing him at this point. But when you push him, he moves fucking fast.
He does.
So it is fast. What it is.
But yeah, so this is quite unfortunate. Hopefully, it's not too serious. I think the belief might be he's injured his ribs somehow.
Oh, makes sense. So there's beer that.
Well, yeah. Did he put him through a table or something as well? Maybe I can't remember. Days have passed, but yeah, it's not ideal. I think obviously they're doing Bash at Berlin soon as well, aren't they? So you'd like to think that you'd want Ludwig around for that. So hopefully he gets to be, and
no beach.
It's not too serious. No, just Berlin.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Real shame that.
Real shame.
Bron Breakker just ruining things for everyone. Speaking of ruining things for everyone.
What?
I don't know. There was no segue.
This could be great.
It will be. It'd be great for us because we're just going to have the WWE Network for free, essentially, which would be awesome. I hope, anyway. I hope all the same content comes over. I don't think they've actually confirmed that. But Netflix are taking over Raw, just Raw in the States. We're getting everything, I believe. Yes?
Yes, all the things.
So have that, dickheads. Triple H.
Unsubscribe.
Triple H has been speaking about this, and he mentioned about the current deal with Fox, and if the crowd start chanting "Holy shit!" sometimes they cut the audio, and sometimes they even cut the screen and the audio, so you won't have no idea what's going on. But the deal as he envisages it with Netflix is that they won't have those sort of issues, and be a more mature product. So you can roar and chill.
Nice.
Raw
dogging.
Raw dogging, baby. So it sounds like it's going to be an absolute win, and you can already see echoes of it. I think they're almost getting to this little we'll leave soon, I'll give a fuck face at the moment, because we're getting blood on there, we're getting more language, we're getting Attitude Era. Not like, don't come at me. It's not the Attitude Era. It's nowhere near as good as the Attitude Era. We all live in nostalgia. I get it, but we're getting closer.
They're sowing the seeds, aren't they? It ain't PG. It ain't suffering succotash anymore. So it's going in the right direction.
And I think what I don't want and what I never want from these products is to suddenly then, because they can, it just happens so much and everyone just starts fucking F-bombing left and right.
Oh yeah.
Right. I said while saying fucking. Like, not like I care about censorship, but what I want them to do is like use it in the sense of like they can tell a story how they want to tell a story rather than feeling restricted.
Yeah.
Not just go, well, we can swear, so let's do it. You know what I mean? There's a difference.
There is.
There's balances to it. You know?
But it's like, as you say, whether or not they lean into it with everybody, or whether it's just like The Rock when he turns up and just does what he wants anyway, they won't have to censor it. So I don't think there's any guarantee that they're gonna go edgier. I just think that they've got the opportunity to.
Exactly. Freedom. That's all it brings. It brings freedom.
Yeah, without the censorship anyway.
I don't know what he's going to do without your Nielsen ratings. I really don't.
That's a very good point, that, you know. It's a very good point.
Suddenly TV ratings don't matter.
Ooh. Awkward.
I've been some bullshit for a while, hasn't it, really?
Yeah. Do you know what, though? The tribalism shit. I feel bad. I should have done like an in memoriam graphic for...
100%.
Seeker, but yeah, like stuff like that pissed me off. Like wrestling tribalism. Did you see like AEW put out like a condolences message and like the replies are like, "This has got nothing to do with you. Take this down." And it's like, fuck off.
It's like bullshit. It's
like, oh my god,
it's the wrestling business, for fuck's sake.
Like people are just horrendous. They've gone too far.
You need to remember, like the situation with Brody Lee and stuff like that. Like everyone was paying their respects, and rightly so. And it's similar to that. He was a legend in the business.
Yeah,
and you should, like, at the end of the day, people have been pissed off if they didn't mention anything. You can't win.
Yeah, you can't win. You really can't win. But I don't know. I'm it's going to be fascinating when it moves to Netflix and we just don't have those viewership figures readily available in the same way they are today.
I wonder if Netflix will give them metrics that they can advertise themselves.
I think they exist, don't they? But I just think it's going to blow everything else out the water, because you look at like Fox and USA and stuff today versus Netflix. This is just readily available to everybody.
Yeah, that's unreal.
Like, come on, like
you watch it on your terms, so you can't even like go. You can't measure viewership in the same way, can you? Because you can't look at it and go, "Oh, Monday nights, it did fucking gangbusters." It's like, people are just gonna watch it when they fucking watch.
Do you know what though? The time guarantee is going to be on Monday at this point.
Well, it doesn't matter, does it? At the end of the day, how often are you gonna watch it on a Monday?
Yeah,
because you're in work and it's a weekday.
Yeah,
like
you can just Netflix it at your convenience.
Most people will probably just wait till the weekend and just batter it.
But the amount of like cord cutters that have, across the world that have just gone, I'm not paying cable anymore. Like everyone's probably on Netflix.
Cord cutters.
So, yeah. But before we go, again, just a shout out to the AETH Foundation. Go and check those guys out. They're doing some amazing work to help underprivileged kids through wrestling. So go and check them out on the socials.
I just want to clarify, they are not wrestling the kids.
They're not wrestling the kids.
Carl was a bit vague on that.
A little bit vague.
Sorry, Mom.
Yeah. So go find out how they beat up kids. No, kid. Yeah, you can find them at AETH Foundation. Go and check them out there. We'll put a link in the description and whatnot as well.
As Carl said, obviously it's a fantastic cause. It's something we were keen on supporting in whatever way we can, because it's something we've often talked about as like a Christmas thing or whichever that we've not been able to sort of fully execute, and the fact that they're doing it as like a sort of day in, day out charity is just fucking awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So very much aligns with us and our thinking. So go and check them out. Show some support. If you're listening to this, we love you, OGs. Download the episode, leave reviews and all that good stuff.
Oh, nothing. No, I can.
And if you are watching this on YouTube, do the usual like, subscribe, and we will catch you on the next one.